about why I feel as though buying a house was a bad decision for me. I only can speak for me. For one, I bought my house when I was 27 years old. I'm now 34. So, do the math. Okay.
7 years. Got it.
On top of that, I had a realtor. He never explained to me the ins and outs of having a house. So I had a 7-1, meaning I had a balloon mortgage. My mortgage rate has changed because I'm about to enter in my 7th year of this house, which have now became a big increase in my mortgage.
Let me just stop here for a second and just educate y'all. It's not your realtor's job in order to try to prepare you for the things that you are signing up for. The realtor's job, and this is largely across the board, is to make sure that they sell you a house so that they can get the commission, right? If you listen to them for financial advice, you hit. If you're listening to them to try to understand how much you can afford, you're hit. If you don't do your own research to understand exactly what an ARM is or a 7-1 is, or whether you should get a 30-year or a 15 or a 10-year, then you are hit. It is your responsibility as a consumer, and you shouldn't blame it on age. You shouldn't blame it on gender. You shouldn't blame it on anything. It is your responsibility as a consumer to know exactly what kind of loan you're getting yourself into. And I suspect that most people know exactly what they're getting themselves into, and they just waiting for the ball to drop.
When I first got the house, it was one price, but now my house payments has almost doubled in the last 3 years. So within these last 3 years, every year is going up 200-300 every year, and now it's going to be an extra $800-900 a month, not including the utilities, the maintenance on the house. So it went from 2,000 to now 3,500 just for the house and not the utilities.
Yeah, a lot of people are complaining about that. Most of the people that I see complaining about that is they are getting a house built. So they'll go with a big home builder, Lennar, Pulte, so on and so forth. You pick one. And the property taxes that they looking at it when they get that mortgage is you got the mortgage, you got the property taxes, but the property taxes is based off of the land, not the home that's built on it. But in her case, because then once they assess the property, that's when the property taxes go up. In her case, her interest rates are going up because she locked in the interest rate for 7 years. And so this is essentially like an ARM. This is very similar to some of the deals that people were taking when we had the housing crisis in 2008. And so a lot of people are doing these deals and they're bad. And I guess it's not necessarily bad. Let me revise that. I can't say that they're bad. They're for a specific type of buyer, right? A person that does not anticipate being in a home for more than a certain amount of years and they can stomach that interest payment. So they have a significant amount of resources that they coming into, or they anticipate making a whole lot of money later on in which they can still carry the mortgage. I always teach people how to get rid of the debt, and so I'm not a fan of it. I don't even like 30-year mortgages. I see a lot of people that say, yo, get a 30, get a 30. That is marketed to you from the banks, and often at times, your mortgage payment is going to stay the same. Your property taxes probably won't stay the same. Your insurance is dependent on the area that you live. And then more importantly than that, you also got to take into consideration the fact that if you want to get rid of it sooner rather than later, as far as the debt on the house, paying it off sooner will eliminate the interest that you're paying over to the bank. So a lot of people, and this is one of the reasons why I don't take serious when they say stuff like, oh, women are the number one home buyers, but they're taking shit deals like this. And this is not to throw her under the bus because she's detailing her experience and how she's now experiencing housing that is becoming unaffordable, even though she purchased their home. But there's a lot of people that are taking these deals that you don't know that they got these bad deals, and they get these mortgages or they deal with these realtors and they didn't educate themselves, or they might have bought too much house for what it is that they're looking for. And so they signed up at one rate and then it's going to balloon at another rate. And it all becomes a problem for you because you are not educated, or you are now blaming the realtor. Oh, I had a trash realtor. No, you had a realtor that got you the deal that you signed up for. And so you just got to be mindful of that.
To me, that's not worth it. What I am grateful for is because I did get my house before COVID, I do have equity in it. So I plan on selling my house and taking the equity from what I received from the house and putting it into a townhouse, a condo, or whatever. And hopefully that pays at least either half or majority of what I'm putting towards the next property that I buy. That's all I'm saying. Everybody's situation is different. I did not know a lot of stuff, so I did not even know what to ask. I was just happy to be 27 years old buying a house. Everybody experience is different. Unfortunately for mine, it's not the best one. That's all I'm saying.
I feel you. And I think that that's an interesting take on the whole situation. But again, even now, she's going into a condo or a townhome, and it depends on what state that you in. She's gonna be paying HOA fees, and those HOA fees can go up. You got restrictions on what you can and can't do to the property. You got to go through the HOA in order to get approved before you do anything. Doesn't change the maintenance, doesn't change the utilities, doesn't change the insurance. You know, y'all got to be a little bit more mindful. A lot of people is just jumping into these situations because they have the opportunity to buy a home, and the equity that she acquired was based off appreciation and comps in the area. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We talk a lot about Block Club. I got Block Club coming up next week.
I got laid off in May, and me and my husband are now selling our dream house to downsize and move closer to the city. I'm definitely someone who believes that everything happens for a reason. And so ever since I got laid off, I've been searching on exactly what the universe is trying to tell me. And I think I finally admitted to myself that the universe is trying to say that it's time to redefine what success looks like for our family and to really put some effort into creating a fulfilling life. And I think we've just kind of been on autopilot since we graduated college, you know, just going along with what society views as successful. And I think by taking this step back, even though it feels like a step back in our goals, it's going to create a really fulfilling and happy life for us. It's just a really scary first step. So we built this house a couple years ago. It was supposed to be our forever house. It was supposed to be where our kids grew up. It's a beautiful house.
McMansion. Huge. Even if you're just looking at the kitchen. Big dog house. Okay, I see you.
We have really enjoyed it. It served us well. But now we are going to be downsizing and buying probably a more historical, older home, closer to the city, closer to all the things that we enjoy doing, and probably renovating it a little bit so that it feels, you know, just like us and perfectly our style, which we didn't really get to do with our house that we currently have. We were able to change a few things, but we weren't able to really put like the vibe and the love that we wanted to put into it. And so this is going to be a really fun journey, but also really scary because it is a kind of a step back. It's just like a complete life shift for us. But I think it's going to open up a lot of like fun opportunities, you know, more resources to travel and do a lot of the things that we enjoy doing. And so if you want to join us for the ride, please do.
A lot of people purchase their homes based off of their income, and then based off of both people's income. And then when one person gets laid off or one person loses their job, then they have to adjust. They got to downsize. They build these homes. They buy these homes, and they got more home than they need, or they got more home than they can really afford. I always say, even if you are going to build or buy a home as a couple, as two people, you should probably only depend on the man's income and just throw everything else into paying off the mortgage. And that way you do have your dream home and you don't have to adjust or downsize or get something more historical. Which she's looking at it from a glass half full perspective, and I respect that. I think that that's dope. But you got to be very careful because a lot of people are house poor. And then they buying their homes based off of their income, and that's what they get their mortgage off of. And so you got to be very, very careful about that. I think that it's a lot of people that are making adjustments. They don't want to sell it for cheaper than. When you start to get into homes that big and it looks like that's more than $1 million home, depending on where you live at, it's probably more than $1 million home. It's much more difficult to sell because of interest rates and because of affordability of the majority of people that would be able to be your buyers. You have a smaller pool to choose from. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments about people that are now talking about downsizing, moving into smaller homes. I've seen a similar thing happen 2006, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let me know what y'all think. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Teach Henley. 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm holler at you later. Peace.